So hi everyone, today in this video we're gonna develop another mental model that obviously can be helpful for you, since mental models is what I believe that can be like the most structured way that knowledge can be. And then so obviously if you're able to grasp as much more information as possible, clean as possible as well, it's gonna so facilitate, it's gonna make it easier your ability to absorb the information. And then so obviously this way I believe that if you kind of get fullified with mental models, you're going to have a higher probability to improve and be a better decision maker. And then so today we're going to develop one of the most fundamental type of analysis in business. So it's a mental model that's taken from the business field that's called the PESTEL analysis. So what do you have to understand about PESTEL analysis? One of the ways that the business type of experts have created to make so the business owners being more like having more efficient when they're trying so to understand the environment that they are present. Since business relies a lot in the interaction that me as an entrepreneur has with the people that I'm trying to serve, the clients. And then so today I'm going to develop the political, economical, sociological, technological, environmental, and legalist type of perspectives that you should look. And these are like the main fields that you should try to understand when you're trying to create a business. So, what do you have to understand? What is a business? Business is the activity that someone creates in order to the majority of times to create profit. And then so if I'm trying to create profit, the reality is that I'm trying to produce something at certain specific prices and obviously multiply by the quantify that I can sell that same products, with obviously having the discount that I have to support costs so to generate that specific quantities at some specific type of prices, because with marketing, because with making a product. And then so obviously this is something that I have to do. Obviously I will like so to exist it because I will get as much revenue as possible in comparison with so the costs. That's what we call profit. And then so we tend to manage costs with the obviously in comparison with the revenues that we want exponentially to be higher. But then so today how these political, economical, sociological, technological, environmental, in legal ways can influence this equation, this mathematical equation. Quick example, so depending if you have political type of incentives or not, can so change if you're gonna be able, if you're gonna have support. So if you have government policies that kind of diminishes the taxation that exists towards people of your business, it can help also having more profit. Obviously, so if the government policies acts, what are so the nature of the government policies, if they exist and what is their nature, if this so taxes people that are your suppliers, and depending if they're taxing or not, going to influence what's going to be the price of acquisition of that same goods for you. Obviously, we have as well the trade regulations, stability, the political risks. So depending what's like the political ideology that is in the government, influence a lot what can be so your profits, because it influences the taxes that are so applied in your business, in your so the country that your business is. So political, it's a lot already so a easier type of example to understand how it influences this chain, this mathematical equation that we tend to maximize as much as possible. We tend to want to be positive as much as possible. That is price multiplied by the quantities in comparison with the costs to produce that some type of quantities of products being sold. And then so political is understood. So being able to grasp information about government policies in the business that you're trying to create, you're managing, understand so what if there are existing taxations. Obviously it's analysis about today, so what are the government policies today, trade regulations, what is the stability today, but understand as well how it's going to evolve for the future, since your your activity as an entrepreneurship relies on today, but relies a lot as well, and the majority of that will come in like with almost 100% of likelihood the next years aggregated. So understand your country that you're present, how it's going to evolve, so what you can expect so from them influencing, so obviously what's the profit that you're going to get. So we have economic as well, so inflation, interest rates, exchange rates, economic growth. Obviously economic is one of the most fundamental type of things in this PESTEL type of analysis, because economical is like can be introduced in analyzing what's like the power of acquisition that the people that are trying to serve, so the clients, if exist interest rates that are, or in better, so better well said, if they're higher or not. If they're so kind of low in some specific country, it can be a meaning that people can get with some type of ease money, which so helps them to buy my products, which obviously as well can support my business. So if I can get so credit at lower type of interest rates, obviously can so facilitate, because I can aggregate more capital and then can so play with leverage, so accumulating debts, with obviously so having positives of doing it, because I apply it with higher ROIC in my business. So interest rates are one of the most fundamental ways that we have to look, and this is on the field in the PESTEL analysis, the economic one. Inflation, so understand what's inflation in the country that you apply can as well, so obviously important, because inflation, the relation between inflation that determines a lot, so the price of the products and obviously the salaries that people have influence also will be the power of acquisition as one of the most fundamental things if I want to understand what so called be the potential revenues that I can expect from a specific group of people. Exchange rates as well, obviously, so understanding that I can accumulate debts in one country to operate in other one, and obviously depending how these exchange rates going to evolve over the time can be something that obviously so can be important to analyze. So I can accumulate that in one specific type of currency, and obviously applying it and making trading for other one that I use it, like getting a debt in dollar, using that someone by trading for euros and applying my activity in euros, because I expect that in the moment in the future that I'm gonna have so to pay the debt. The reality is that the heroes have like have been evaluated over or been appreciated over so the dollars, making so a specific type of operation that creates profits by obviously the dynamics that exist in exchange trades, and obviously economic growth, so obviously understanding if exists money, if the people are with more money, with more PIB, it's obviously something that as well it's important to analyze. Technological, one of the most important, so understanding what are the innovations in my field. So automation can be something that can reduce the cost that I support, which obviously cost has been one of the most fundamental type of components in the equation that I've been taught, that is the one that the majority of the business owners and want so to dominate, that is so price multiplied by the quantify less costs that I have to support. And technological, so it's obviously important, because technological we kind of work towards having more efficiency. Efficiency is one of the most fundamental things that so contributes for profit. We have as well innovation, so innovation, new ways to do something, and normally new ways are are so better ways than in the past. Research and development, so my ability to apply research and development depends of my technological ability. So if I'm able to think critically, if I'm able to use technologies that helps doing and researching other technologies that so are important for me. And so obviously the digital transformation trend is as well something that can be helpful to understand, so if I can apply my business. So if I'm someone that is relying in kind of so doing and providing like some type of gadgets that depends of the technological type of education that my consumers have, so like selling a Apple Watch that requires people having the ability to manage to manhandle so a watch with that technological devices. It depends so of my of the technological type of learnings that so my consumers have, in order so to make it able and trigger so the interest of them buy my product. We have other thing that's obviously the social side, so the demographics, cultural trends, lifestyle changes, and consumer behavior. It's obviously another thing that's important. So understanding what are the demographics, what are the ages of the people that I'm trying to pursue, what are interests, because it's mainly so what determines the perception of value. Depending the context that the people are present, it's gonna influence what the people perceive as valuable. So what are like principles, what are the cultural values that are present in that society determines so if the people will see and will get a good experience with my products, which so influences the expectations that people can so present towards my product. That's one of the most fundamental things in so creating a wish for a product. We have the environmental, obviously, climatic changes, sustainability regulation, natural disasters, which so can influence all type of chain of development that exists in my business. So a climatic type of change can generate some phenomena that so can kind of create some type of bad events in a factory that I can have. So it's important to analyze the environment that I'm so going to produce my business type of activity. And so the legal employment laws, data protection regulation, health and safety standards is something that as well I can have to look to as well, thrive better. And obviously legal, it's precise, objective, so I can as well understand what could be the consequences if some specific type of action leads to some specific feedbacks. And then so I expect this video as make you understood one of the most fundamental tools to analyze the business. I expect you as well to apply it if you have one of these, and I expect you to help me by subscribing and afterwards now seeing other videos to gain you more insight. So without that much more to say, see you in the next one.